Right now at 10, a Sparta man will spend decades in prison for beating his girlfriend to death 2 years ago.
And a Minnesota agency is proposing new regulations to protect water sources from nitrate contamination.
Plus, a leadership conference makes its return to La Crosse.
Watching WKBT La Crosse, this is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Ken Kozorowski.
And I'm Emily Brown.
A Sparta man is sentenced to 53 years for beating his girlfriend to death. 34-year-old Sean Hawk is convicted of killing 32-year-old Sarah Latimer in 2022. He will spend 33 years confined and another 20 under extended supervision. Hawk initially faced a first-degree intentional homicide charge, but pleaded guilty to a charge of first-degree reckless homicide. He had been convicted of domestic abuse before Latimer's death. Hawk and Latimer's mother addressed each other in court today.
Trust me when I say I truly despise the man I was when I was arrested. Anybody who looks at this case would not think that's the man I love that woman. Mom, tell I love Sarah Latimer.
Maybe someday you will have a relationship with your son. Because you are the only parent he has right now. We can't be his parents. We're his grandparents. He doesn't have a mom. And if you want to call yourself a dad, you're going to have to earn that.
After the sentencing, Latimer's mother said it's important to finally have closure, but the law didn't do enough to protect her daughter.
All the cases that they went through for the domestic violence and him beating her up, they only gave him probation at the end. And in April of 22, he got put on probation. In May of 22, he killed her. So if he would have gone to jail and not probation, she'd still be alive right now.
The 20 years of extended supervision is the maximum the state can enact.
2 people are arrested for allegedly sex trafficking a minor. According to their criminal complaints, La Crosse police were sent to a gas station for an assault call on June 4th. A 16-year-old girl said she was being trafficked and assaulted by 30-year-old Dwayne Davis. Investigators learned the girl had been working for Davis since March and was also forced to have intercourse with him multiple times. The next day, Davis was arrested and charged with multiple felony counts, including trafficking of a child and child sexual exploitation. He's held on a $50,000 cash bond. Investigators also learned that 26-year-old Courtney Klickner created an account for the girl on an online escort service. After police contacted Klickner, she turned herself in June 25th. She's charged with trafficking a child and is currently free on a $1,000 cash bond. Wabasha County authorities say a 6-year-old has been accidentally shot. The sheriff's office says it received reports of a 6-year-old girl with gunshot wounds at a residence in Elgin around 6:30 Tuesday night. The child went to the hospital with serious injuries. Officials confirmed another person caused the injuries, but say it appears to be an accident. The investigation is ongoing.
Yeah, overall, our temperatures were quite a bit below or above average, depending on the location. So right now, as you look out there, those are the high temperatures. Now, tomorrow, I think a lot of areas will be a little bit cooler, maybe not so much go further north, but all in all, it's going to be pleasant conditions. But for tonight, with the drier air in place, we're going to get down to 57, but notice the temperatures warming back up to around 70 at noon for La Crosse. Increasing cloud cover will be also the story for both locations. 56 at Eau Claire. Some of those locations could be in the 40s outside of both locations here. We get up to 68 with increasing cloud cover. But right now, as you look outside, just a few clouds, but basically really mainly clear skies. The system that we're monitoring is well to the west, just actually has come into Montana, and that is the frontal system that we're going to watch. But it's going to take at least another 24 to maybe even 36 hours before it actually gets here. But as I mentioned, overnight, some low cloud development, some areas we might even see some patchy fog depending on location. But all in all, the temperatures are going to continue to drop into the 50s and even some 40s. So a little bit of chill out there as you wake up for some locations, in the mid 40s in certain locations. But overall for tomorrow, definitely get out and enjoy the golf because the weather's going to be beautiful. Things do take a turn for Friday into Friday night, and I'll kind of break down the rain chances later in the broadcast.
All right, sounds like a plan. Thank you, Greg.
Minnesota health officials say nitrate contamination is all too common in Winona, Houston, and Fillmore County groundwater. The State Department of Health says the chemical compound is linked to serious health risks like cancer and blue baby syndrome. One of the easiest ways it gets into groundwater is manure runoff from farms. A new proposal would restrict certain farming practices to lower Minnesota's nitrate levels. It would first require cover crops to be planted during the fall. Farmers will also have to inspect their fields while manure is being applied and at the end of every workday. Lastly, if the feedlot transfers manure to someone else, that person who bought the manure will have to follow the same rules as the person who sold it. Environmental advocates consider it a step in the right direction.
We think that they're very common sense. They're very reasonable. They're a small incremental step towards what needs to be done. And so this is what we would like to see for a first step. And we think that things need to go a lot farther.
Now, if the proposal is approved, the MCPA says the changes would go into effect in 2028.
A City of La Crosse committee is recommending a plan to redevelop the South Community Library into housing. The Economic and Community Development Commission reviewed 3 separate proposals for the library at a meeting tonight. It's recommending the city approve a smaller scale version of Willow Grove LLC's plan. That would redevelop the existing library building into 6 housing units and then 2 townhouses to the north. Willow's original proposal also called for 6 more housing units to the south, but the ECDC is not recommending that part. The city closed the library late last year due to budget cuts. And last month, the Heritage Preservation Commission voted to preserve the building as a historic landmark. Now, the Common Council has the final say over a potential sale. Willow's offering around $350,000, but are asking for a $200,000 credit to help with water and sewer utilities. Common Council next meets July 11th. When Prevea closed Western Wisconsin clinics in the spring, many patients were put on wait lists for things like speech therapy, occupational therapy, and physical therapy.
One Chippewa Valley couple felt compelled to do something about it. Now they're making a difference, expanding access for all 3 services. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall has the latest. Jeremy.
Emily, people were waiting anywhere from weeks to months for PT, OT, and speech therapy because of the HSHS and Prevea closures. Others were also forced to drive long distances for care. Recently, Andrew Johnson and his wife opened Lakeland Therapy Lake Care Home Health Care, giving patients quicker access to the care they need.
I think he's done. I think he's done. All right. Yep.
When Prevea closed, finding care for Robert Brostrom's son Bennett was challenging.
My wife has been calling around to different places and trying to get on lists and things pretty much since we've been impacted by the places closing. And it's been, weeks, months. People have been telling us before they can even get in for an evaluation to see if they could even see him.
Bennett receives PT, OT, and speech therapy. Following the closures of HSHS and Prevea, Andrew Johnson and his wife saw the need to help kids and adults.
We have a growing population in this area. Access to healthcare services has diminished significantly.
Johnson has worked in healthcare for 25 years. Last summer, he and his wife joined business partners Joe and Mary Joy Borden to work in home healthcare. They recently opened 2 Lakeland Therapy outpatient locations. One of them is in Chippewa Falls.
I know the struggles that parents have with getting services for their children, and it just kind of broke my heart that there were so many kids that weren't getting the services they needed.
Within 4 months, they were able to get the Chippewa Valley practice up and running.
A lot of the equipment we purchased directly from Prevea healthcare system itself, and a lot of the clinicians that were let go from Prevea also were able to seek employment here.
Johnson says he is planning on expanding the business.
For us, what's next is how do we continue to build a system that is supporting our community so people can live their lives in where they call home.
Now, the company recently received a license to do outpatient care at home. Johnson says Lakeland will be doing this at assisted living facilities. Ken and Emily?
All right, thank you, Jeremy.
An annual conference is coming to Viterbo this week to inspire community leadership. The Servant Leadership Conference is for people working in nonprofits, healthcare, government, ministry, and education to help leaders become positive forces in their organizations. The 2-day conference will include guest speakers as well as group discussions. One Viterbo professor says the conference will bring leaders together to create a more vibrant community.
We're interested in bringing people together to work for a greater good. This happens every day in La Crosse, in businesses, healthcare, and education. We are trying just to contribute to a healthy and vibrant community.
Viterbo is the first college in the nation to offer a master's degree in servant leadership. 450 people from the Midwest are expected to attend the conference. It begins tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning and will continue until Friday. Registration is still open. We'll have that link on our digital platforms.
President Biden and former President Donald Trump are set to face off in a debate tomorrow night.
How they're preparing and what to expect next.
How did CEO Eric Hovde become a multimillionaire California banker? Let's take a look. Hovde's family rigged the system to rake in $30 million in government subsidies and loans. And now he's sheltering his wealth in shady tax havens around the world. So it's no surprise Hovde supports more tax cuts for corporations and millionaire bankers like himself, while working families pay the price. That's bank CEO Eric Hovde. Never been on our side, never will be. Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
It's only paint. It's only paint that comes in an award-winning twist and pour container. It's only paint that can cover the brightest shade of orange known to mankind in just one coat. It's only paint that will inspire you to write your masterpiece. It's only paint that will help you become TV's hottest writer, where one day you'll meet this guy who starred in that thing. So yeah, it's only paint. Only easy opening, smooth pouring, change your life both professionally and romantically. Paint.
No matter where I seat my guests, they seem to like the kitchen best. A kitchen's the heart of the home. It should be warm and welcoming. It should be attractive and functional. But it can be a real challenge unless you come here where you can meet with a designer, find all of the products that you need, and trust the project to our carpenters, plumbers, and electricians. For kitchens, bathrooms, and other home improvements, put your trust in the Board Store Home Improvements. Contact us today.
President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are set to face off tomorrow night in Atlanta for a 90-minute presidential debate.
Yeah, the two rivals will come face-to-face on the debate stage for the first time since October of 2020. CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
Outside CNN headquarters, where Thursday's debate will take place, and inside Georgia Tech's McCamish Pavilion, where media outlets from around the world will watch, final preparations were furiously underway on Wednesday. While the focus of Thursday night will be Joe Biden and Donald Trump's exchanges on stage, behind the scenes, allies of both men will be working to drum up support.
We have friends from across the country coming in.
Former Georgia GOP Senator Kelly Loeffler is hosting a fundraiser for Trump right after the debate ends, where they're expected to raise millions.
No one is a better connector or communicator with the American people. And I'd say that contrast is that President Biden is a terrible communicator and connector with the American people.
It's time for us to purge Donald Trump from our system.
Supporters of President Biden, some of them surprising, also spoke up on Wednesday. A press conference at the Georgia State Capitol featured Republicans like former Congressman Adam Kinzinger and former Georgia Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, urging people to vote Democrat, saying another 4 years of Trump in office would be dangerous.
Going against the grain as a Republican and supporting Democrat Joe Biden for president is not easy. But I'm not looking at this election through the lens of being a Republican. I'm looking through the lens of being an American that cares more about the future of my country than the moral bankrupt nominee of my party.
So during the debate, both Biden and Trump's microphones will be muted except for when it's their turn to speak.
The debate airs on CNN at 8 p.m. Central Time.
Flooding across the Midwest has affected a number of communities.
Why it's also closing rides at a major theme park when we return.
We've still got a pleasant day for your Thursday, but we are tracking more rain and even some thunderstorms potentially for Friday. We'll time out the rain for Friday and show you whether it's going to impact any of your Friday evening activities. That all coming up on your First Warn Update after the break.
At By Goffin Rohde, we know reputation is important, and it can affect your case's outcome. If you want your case to be taken seriously, you need lawyers who are taken seriously. By Goffin Rohde, serious injuries need serious lawyers.
To me, it's the worst thing a parent can face. My daughter was pregnant, and she was about to lose her baby. Because of the extreme abortion ban in her state, we were about to lose her as well. Doctors were not even allowed to help Mandy until she was near death. I'm conservative, but that makes no sense An extreme abortion ban almost killed my daughter. A national abortion ban would be devastating for all families.
Get an 11% rebate on all things outdoors at Menards. For all your outdoor storage needs, Aero Storage Products has you covered. These metal sheds come pre-cut and pre-drilled for faster assembly. This 12 by 12 classic shed is designed with a high peak for extra headroom and space to store your tall yard tools. Get it today for just $899.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Get ready to save huge at the King Furniture Independence Day sale going on now. We're celebrating with huge discounts on sofas, sectionals, recliners, bedrooms, dining rooms, lift chairs, and more. Our warehouse is overstocked and we need to move some furniture fast. That means incredible savings for you. Find July 4th deals on the best brands in the furniture and mattress business. Do not miss the King Furniture Independence Day sale going on now.
Story of a kinesiotherapist who rehabbed his golf game.
I love golf. I have always played golf.
Until he started having some Mulligan-level foot pain.
Well, the golf game starts down with the feet, and if you don't have good support, you probably won't have a good golf swing.
So he got fitted for Good Feet arch supports.
It made a world of difference.
Any advice for your fellow linksmen?
2 words, the Good Feet store. How many words is that?
Try them for yourself with a free fitting at the Good Feet store.
Is your personal injury lawyer trying to sell you a settlement that you don't think is fair? You need a lawyer who won't settle your case just to move on to the next one. Get the full compensation you deserve. Get Bygoff and Rohde.
Is it time for new windows or doors? Contact the company who has done the research for you. The best windows and doors installed by the best people. Clear Choice Window and Home Solutions.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
A Minnesota amusement park near the Twin Cities says it's closing several rides to the public because of flooding, but the park will remain open.
Valley Fair in Shakopee says it must temporarily close 3 rides. That's because they're in a potential flood zone from the swollen Minnesota River.
But park officials say they're staying open because the majority of the amusement park is above the projected crest of the river.
Well, pleasant day today here, but we do have rain coming Friday. Now, is that going to affect our rivers here? Let's send it over to Greg for the latest on that.
Well, the good news with all the river stuff, most of the rainfall that we do get for the next day should impact anything really otherwise, because we're not expecting significant rainfall. We'll see what changes going on to next week. But right now, it's really just the Mississippi that's really the main river that's in flood stage. But we still got dry conditions through tomorrow, pleasant conditions. We do have a wet Friday morning. That looks more certain. What's more not as certain is what redevelopment when the front comes through late in the afternoon, evening. We could have more storms, even for the Friday morning commute. There's kind of difference of opinion on that. We could have a little bit more, another round, maybe Friday night too. So we got some things to look at. But for right now, the system that we're watching is out to the Pacific Northwest, just coming on basically into Idaho and Montana. It's going to take its time, probably another 24 hours till it gets into the plains, and then we'll start seeing as it gets closer for tomorrow night. So it's still got a ways, and we still got pleasant conditions to go on. Right now, we're going to skip over that. We do have some issues. We might have a little bit of low clouds or maybe a little patchy fog tonight. We'll keep an eye on that. Right now, I don't think it'll be dense, but as you can see, there is some patches, areas here of where you may see some visibility for a few hours potentially, especially near river areas, low-lying areas. But otherwise, temperatures getting down to the upper 40s, even some mid-40s up the north, so there'll be a little bit of a chill in the air and some of this low cloud cover here for about a few hours. I don't expect widespread fog or low clouds. Otherwise, as we go throughout the morning, we'll see temperatures continue to rise up into about 70 degrees for the noon. Here's all the cloud cover. This is high cloud cover that's going to begin to increase around noon, and then there in the afternoon we'll see more of it really increase and then lowering. But so far temperatures should still get up into the mid to upper 70s. So for some areas that's a little bit warmer than today, other areas a little bit cooler but still below average. Then for tomorrow evening should remain dry. This will be well to the west yet, and overnight most of the time it will be dry. Probably looking at maybe closer to the Friday morning commute is when we're going to see at least the first round of showers, maybe a thunderstorm. Right now I think it's just mainly going to be light to moderate rainfall coming through. through for about a couple hours with a better chance as you go further north, more spotty or scattered as you go further south, South La Crosse. That'll come through about noon. We might see a break in the action. The front is still back to the west by the time we get to Friday afternoon. Then it's kind of a disagreement on where the next line of showers and thunderstorms develop. We'll have to keep an eye on this. This could impact the Friday morning commute with some thunderstorms, or it could be maybe later after it comes through with another line right there coming through after midnight Saturday. So we'll keep an eye on that, but once we get past about midnight Saturday or early right afterwards, we'll see action continue to kind of decrease, and then the winds will start picking up. Then we'll get kind of the cooler air behind the front, which means it's going to be a cool Saturday. Precipitation amounts, pretty much about a quarter, maybe a half to about noon. It gets a little bit more uncertain. This is probably on the higher end of where there could be some potential higher amounts. We'll keep an eye on that, but right now not too much. Otherwise, flooding. We're looking at moderate stages for the Mississippi. We've already kind of went through this before, but we're looking at prolonged activity going with moderate flooding probably throughout the next week. Overall for tonight, we're looking at those temperatures getting back down in the 50s and maybe some mid-40s. Showers and thunderstorms come back not until Friday, so pleasant Thursday. Cool weekend with only the mid-70s on Sunday, with more rain chances coming back Monday and Tuesday. And for the 4th of July right now, pretty confident it's not going to be hot and dry, but we might have a chance for some showers, but at least the temperatures will be comfortable or seasonable right now, the way it looks.
It looks like a fond farewell to the month of June.
Yes, it does.
All right, thank you, Greg. Coming up next in sports, the Brewers look to continue their dominance at home against the Rangers. Plus, it's a scene of triumph today over in West Salem. Jacob's got that story and more next.
News 8 Now Sports is brought to you by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, with 6 locations of fun.
4th of July at Home Furniture starts with 2 big days of savings. This Thursday and Friday, get up to an extra 15% off sale prices. This Middleton Queen bedroom suite is $24.99, made in Wisconsin with American Red Oak. 2 big days of savings Thursday and Friday at Home Furniture.
Every day we battle illegal drugs coming into our community.
And we know the attacks on Tammy Baldwin are not true.
Tammy's working with law enforcement to stop the flow of fentanyl.
She brought Democrats and Republicans together
to crack down on drugs coming from China and Mexico,
giving us more tools to fight drug smugglers.
And Tammy voted 32 times to strengthen the border.
Don't believe the attacks.
It's Tammy Baldwin I trust to keep Wisconsin safe.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Now, get up to $8,400 in total savings on a 2024 Ford F-150 XLT. Only at your local Northland Ford dealers.
Now's the time to get a great deal on taking care of your property. You need the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. so you can do it all and do it right. Z-Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 60 months, plus save up to $1,050.
Visit any of your local Johnson Tractor dealerships in Menominee, Baldwin, Osseo, and Arcadia.
During the 4th of July mattress sale at Home Sleep Express, get $500 off Tempur-Pedic Breeze mattresses and a $300 shopping cart with free white glove delivery and a 120-night guarantee. Tempur-Pedic, now at Home Sleep Express.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Well, a lot to get to tonight, so let's begin in La Crescent, where Post 595 was hosting West Salem's Post 51 squad. And a beautiful night for some baseball. West Salem started out hot, scoring 4 in the first, and then top 2. They add another thanks to this Jackson Bonzel fly out to left. That's plenty deep to drive in a run and make it 5-0. But La Crescent would throw a counter punch. Leighton Johnson shoots one to right center field. 2 runners are going to score, and then the ball gets away from the catcher, and a third slides home safely. That is good for La Crescent there. The next batter, Mays Boyer, he's going to find a gap. That brings in Johnson to cut the deficit to just 1. And if you like scoring, you'd love this game. Cale Baker then squaring up a pitch That drives in another. This one turned out to be a dandy, but Post 595 wins 11-10. How cool is this? Art Fahey, retired head of the Lacrosse Center and local legend at AmFam Field today, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch for Lacrosse Day in Milwaukee. Looks like it caught the bottom of the zone to me. All right, here we go to the game. 27th year doing Lacrosse Day. You love that. And then the crew looking for the sweet bottom three. Jake Bauer showing off the power. Another grand slam for a Brewers player gives Milwaukee the lead. The Rangers would fight back and go in front in the fourth. Here we go. It's Jackson Churio. That ball gets down. He turns on the afterburners for an inside the park home run, 31st in franchise history. And the game would stay tied at 5 until the bottom of the 10th. Andrew Monasterio, 2 on, 2 out, laces one in the left center gap, and that does it. Milwaukee sweeps Texas. Brewers are 15 games over 500 at the halfway point of the season. And just about an hour ago, the Milwaukee Bucks made their one and only selection of the first round of the NBA draft, selecting A.J. Johnson, a 19-year-old shooting guard who played professionally in Australia last year. The 6'4" playmaker may take some time to develop, but if we know anything about drafting overseas talent, be patient, Bucks fans. And today was day 3 of 4 for the youngsters at the UWL Youth Basketball Camp. This camp primarily focusing on the offensive side of the ball, with drills that involved training the shooting and ball handling, passing, footwork skills. At the end of today's session, some live action scrimmages were happening and the kids put those skills they learned on display. Despite some hot days in Mitchell Hall, the energy has been high, and head coach for UWL JT Gritzmacher says the main focus is making sure everyone has fun.
Seeing the smiles, seeing the kids having fun. I remember when I was their age, I think you didn't care what camp you were at. You thought you were in the NBA, right? So for these kids, just having fun, making sure they're playing basketball, enjoying it, kind of get out the house, doing other things.
UWL will host another camp beginning July 22nd. And what a special day in West Salem. Zoe Coder, a player on the Post 51 softball team who suffered a traumatic brain injury back in October of 2022, was on the softball diamond once again. Look at Zoe go. She scores on the pass ball in her side's game against Viroqua. Zoe worked so hard with different abilities to try to get to the point in her recovery where she could once again make that run home, and today was that day. A true lover of the sport of softball, she helps out her team by keeping stats and putting on a big smile on her face. And she says things haven't always been easy, but it is a day she won't forget.
So I just take one day at a time, basically. And it's a long journey.
And a lot of
unknowns.
Zoe also said the support of her teammates has been amazing throughout everything, and she could not do it without them. So a big day of sports, and yeah, awesome stuff there. The Bucks, though, what do you think about that, Ken?
That's an interesting pick. It's going on Twitter that that A.J. Johnson literally scored 3 points a game in Australia last year. And, and Greg was already talking smack off camera that he could score 3 points.
3 points.
And I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing.
I can do that.
Right. So I'm guessing it's a very high potential kind of draft pick.
Yeah.
And again, in the 20s, it's the later part of the first round. So not everybody's a sure thing at that point. But it's a lot of question marks, I think, with this pick.
I think they think they have the pieces to make a run still next year without this first round pick. So hopefully it pays off.
Bucks GM may not be an MVP tonight based off that pick, but Zoe Coder, the MVP of the Cooley region
absolutely.
tonight. That's
awesome.
Amazing to just be able to see her running after that injury. That's incredible.
Remarkable.
Stuff.
Very good.
Thank you, Jacob.
Okay, we have more news after this.
On these trails, I find the middle ground and get things moving. I've done that as a state lawmaker, and it's what I'll do in Congress. I'll work with both parties to get things done for workers and families.
You're thinking about new windows and doors. I've been thinking about new windows and doors for over 40 years. You're thinking about the best window at the best price. I'm thinking about the best window at the best price for you. The best quality installed by professional installers at a fair price. If you're planning new windows and doors, you owe it to yourself to contact the Bortzdorf Home Improvements for a prompt free estimate. You'll be glad you did. Contact us today.
What do we think? Burglary gone wrong?
more like a chilling spree.
You see it all too often. When you don't take care and maintain your system, it's all too easy for problems to pop up when you need it the most.
It's hard to stay cool under pressure. Proper service and maintenance is worth its weight in the cold. I'm not a fan of having problems. What can you do?
Call G&T as soon as humanly possible.
Don't lose your cool this summer. Call G&T Heating and Air Conditioning today.
One day only, this Thursday, June 27th. Save big on Hy-Vee butter, just $2.99. Washington red cherries, just $2.77 a pound. 6-pack bottles of Coke products, just $2.99. Gatorade 8-packs, just $4.99. Hy-Vee shredded cheese, 3 for just $4. And buy one, get one free Doritos. Get these great deals and more Thursday only and only at Hy-Vee.
Ram is built to serve, and you'll find the Ram you're looking for at Pischke Motors in West Salem or Pischke Motors La Crosse.
Make this the summer with a Ram 1500. Stop into Pischke Motors now during our last call to see our great selection. These 2024 Ram 1500s are on clearance. Great prices. Get them before they're gone. With unparalleled durability, towing, hauling, Ram's 1500 has you covered. Hurry in. This offer ends June 30th.
Start your search at Pischke.com and then drive away in your new Ram.
I know how to get things moving in the state capitol, but in Congress, I'll also have the experience to stop bad ideas like the national abortion ban and stop attacks on our democracy. I'm Katrina Shankland, and I approve this message because our freedoms are on the line.
Well, today the ribbon was officially cut for a new all-abilities playground at Remington Hills Park in Holmen.
And that's thanks in part to the North American Squirrel Association, or NASA. NASA is a Holmen organization that supports elderly and physically challenged people in enjoying the outdoors.
They've been working with the village of Holmen on the playground since 2021. Their park chairman says it's very important that every child has an equal chance to enjoy the playground.
Anybody that wants to come and play, we just wanted to make sure that there was an avenue for people who may be in a wheelchair or just had limited mobilities to be able to get out and experience some park play.
The playground cost about $300,000 in total, and that's thanks to donations from a number of local businesses and community members.
I like the Christmas themed colors, and that shade of red is very reminiscent of the Holmen School District, so I like the brand consistency there.
Yeah, they were thinking. All right, Greg, we'll have one final look at your forecast when we come back.
Stories are told on our Instagram at WKBT News 8. Or you can always find us at news8000.com.
Ashley's Stars and Stripes mattress sale is going on now. Save up to $500 on select mattresses. Plus pay 0% interest for 5 years with no minimum purchase on all in-store purchases. Only at Ashley. Shop more deals in-store and online.
Senator Baldwin says I'm not from Wisconsin. But this was my childhood home. Graduated East High. Became a Badger in '86, where I've had my company for over 20 years.
And this is where we live. It's our family home.
I'm a fourth-generation Wisconsinite. It made me who I am. If Senator Baldwin's not going to be honest with you about where I'm from, what makes you think she'll be honest with you about anything? I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Hey, Dominic here, and I want to show you how easy it is to make a great barbecue sauce. We'll start by taking a half a cup of ketchup, and we'll mix in 1 tablespoon of barbecue seasoning spice. For Sloppy Joe's, brown 1 pound of ground meat with a medium chopped onion and drain. Use the barbecue sauce with a half cup water added, add to the brown meat, and simmer for 15 minutes. Be sure to get your barbecue spice pleasing and 35 other blends at Pleasing Outlet Store on Ward Avenue, La Crosse. Perfect for a party.
Join today's shoppers as they explore Sweet Valley Artisans.
There's so many good things here. How do you pick just one?
You don't.
I've been looking for someone to hang in my garage. What about this? Or this?
Vintage clothing and accessories? Let's check it out. Have you found anything yet? Yeah?
I'm getting hungry just looking at this. I know what you mean.
Stop in and find your treasure today.
Have you ever had to move? It's brutal. Why do we have so much stuff? Well, at Chrysler Winona, we're moving, and we're trying to pack light by throwing out some great deals. A lightly used 23 Grand Cherokee L with 3rd row, heated seats, and remote start is just $38,990. Or Pre-owned Chrysler Pacifica with heated leather and seating for 7 starting at just $23,990. So come see us before we move at Chrysler Winona, downtown Winona.
Ashley Stars and Stripes mattress sale is going on now. Don't miss these mattress hot buys, now only $7.99. And get a free adjustable base upgrade with an Align by Ashley Sleep mattress purchase. Only at Ashley. Shop more deals in-store and online.
All right, tomorrow definitely the day to get out and enjoy the pleasant conditions. Increasing clouds. We might have a little bit of low clouds or fog. Something to keep in mind for the morning commute. It won't be widespread, but given how the soil is pretty moist out there. Otherwise, the rain does arrive Friday, at least the morning, maybe more in the evening. We'll keep an eye on that. The weekend overall looks dry, but definitely going to be cool as we go into Sunday with just the mid-70s. And 4th of July still looks not hot and humid. That's the positive thing for the whole 7-8 days.
Yeah, looks good.
All right. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10.
We'll see you tomorrow.